The Working Group on Girls is a coalition of over 75 non-governmental organizations that work with girls to support them and advocate for their rights. As WGG Girl Advocates, we represent and advocate for girls' rights on local, national, and international levels and across all intersections to leaders around the world.
We are so happy that you all are here today and are excited to have the opportunity to share stories with you from girls around the world. We hope that you'll leave here inspired and take what you have learned back to your communities in order to facilitate an important dialogue about the rights of girls.
Please note that translations are available in English on Channel 1, Spanish on Channel 4, French on Channel 2, and Arabic on Channel 6. You can utilize the headsets in front of you. While we would like for you to turn your phones on silent, please feel free to engage on social media. Use hashtag IDG2017 and hashtag Justice for Girls. Also be sure to follow @NGOWGG and @IDG_Summit on Twitter. Without further ado, we would like to introduce the co-chairs of the Working Group on Girls.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I am Victoria Edmonds, the co-chair of the Working Group on Girls, a UN coalition of NGOs who advocate for girls everywhere around the world. And we welcome you this afternoon to the 5th annual Speak Out for Girls in celebration of the International Day of the Girl.
I'm co-chair of Victoria Edmonds, and we are deeply grateful to the missions who sponsored the GIA resolution declaring the 11th of October as the International Day of the Girl Child 6 years ago. Each present today, and we want to really welcome all the dignitaries and our special friends. Thank you so much, Deputy Secretary General, and all of you, each one of you here are here because you care about girls, and that means so much to us. And I just want to take a second, because it's not about us today, but I want to thank our amazing team, Emily, Adwa, Crystal, Dana, I don't want to forget anybody, Ellen, and of course, Beth. Thank you all for all your hard work. Girls, take it away. Welcome.
Her Excellency Amina Mohammed brings a wealth of experience as Deputy Secretary General, having previously spent decades working to eradicate poverty and establish gender equality. Before joining the United Nations, Madam Mohammed worked for 3 successive administrations in Nigeria, served as a special advisor on the Millennium Development Goals, and was key in the post-2015 development process. Thank you.
This is for our Excellencies Girl Advocates, and when I looked around the hall, I saw some he for she's, really young ones up there, so it's the boys for girls. Friends and partners, really wonderful to be with you today and hear the voices of so many inspiring girls. It is also uplifting to witness through the power of your performance and storytelling, your work to combat injustice in your countries, communities, schools, and homes. The International Day of the Girl Child reminds us that girls' rights are central to achieving the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and ensuring a peaceful, just, and prosperous world. It also reminds us of the centrality of girls themselves to the successes of that world. I am one of 5 girls, and I have 4 girls and 2 boys, so it's girls everywhere. I also have my first grandchild, and it's a girl. So today, your Girls Crisis Hotline gives us a cross-section of what you all face, and it is important to hear your views, your voices, your challenges. And some of these are familiar, deeply rooted challenges. 1 in 4 girls today unnecessarily is married before her 18th birthday, jeopardizing her education, health, and her future. Millions of girls continue to miss, or worse still, drop out of school for many reasons, including the lack of toilets and washing facilities and a way to deal with their periods. Other challenges are unique to your generation and arise through the use of internet and social media, like cyberbullying. Or they come from the exclusion from digital advances. Girls living in poverty from minority or indigenous groups or living with disabilities often face some of the greatest injustices. And in times of crises caused by disaster, conflict, or the effects of climate change, girls are the most vulnerable. Yet despite these injustices, girls are stepping up and taking control in new ways. For example, in the wake of hurricanes Irma, Jose, and Maria in the Eastern Caribbean, more than 8,700 female U reporters accessed and provided information through the youth social messaging to U Report. And there are new initiatives intended to address an experience no girl or woman should ever face: violence. The newly launched EU-UN Spotlight Initiative is bringing together governments, the United Nations, and our partners to strengthen the laws, the institutions, services, and the data to stop violence. This includes addressing child marriage and harmful practices in Africa, trafficking in Asia, family violence in the Caribbean, literally placing a spotlight on girls' experiences so we can ensure that our next generation will be the first to experience a world with zero tolerance for violence and abuse. I promise you that all of us here at the UN support the rights of all girls and are committed to leaving no one behind, whatever their circumstances. Justice for girls is vital for a just society. We will continue to work for that with our partners and to rely on the power and the resilience of girls to guide us. I would now like to give the floor to Ilana, a truly inspiring girls' rights activist whom I had the chance to meet today in the context of Girls Takeover Initiative by Plan International. And she certainly took over the 38th floor this afternoon, I can tell you. She will now represent me as the Deputy Secretary General for a brief moment. But before I hand over to Elena, let me just add one more thing. It is important that we here stand, at least me, as a woman, a mother, a grandmother, an African, a Muslim, and I'm only the Deputy Secretary General, but each and every one of you in this room can tomorrow become the Secretary General, and that's the bar that we set for you. Deputy Secretary General, you have the floor.
Hello. My name is Ilane. I am from Brazil. Eu acredito que nós mulheres deveríamos e devemos estarmos mais envolvidas na política. Este takeover representa um ato de incidência política a nível global para que as vozes das meninas elas possam ecoar. Esta e outras influências de mulheres na política me fizeram ser quem eu sou hoje. Nesse Dia Internacional da Menina, eu gostaria de fazer um convite a todos vocês que tomem como igualdade de gênero uma questão que ela é coletiva. Ela é uma questão sua, ela é uma questão minha, uma questão dos meninos, dos rapazes, da sociedade, ela é uma questão nossa. E como já dito pela ativista e escritora Chimamanda Adichie, nós precisamos encorajar mais mulheres a se atreverem a mudar o mundo. Então, meu convite a todos presentes aqui. Então, levantem a mão direita e acreditem que nós mulheres temos o potencial e tomem essa luta de igualdade de gênero para vocês também. Obrigada.
I now have the pleasure of introducing Minister Maria Monsef. Minister Monsef became the Minister of Status of Women in January of 2017. As the Minister of Status of Women, she leads efforts to ensure that all Canadian women, girls, and gender non-conforming people are able to serve.
Bonjour. Hello. Ani. Salam alaikum. Happy Day of the Girl. Ambassador Marc-Andre Blanchard of Canada, honorable colleagues, dignitaries, special shout out to Peru and Turkey for joining Canada in bringing together the international community to shine the spotlight on our daughters. and to remind us all of the power of a girl. I guess I have 3 messages for you today. The first, and I think the most important, is to be kind to one another. The second is to dream big. There will be a lot of haters. There will always be people who will tell you you can't or you shouldn't. But dream big and know that Canada is here with you dreaming big and helping to work with international leaders who have your very best interests at heart, as Madame Amina Mohammed said. Aren't you a little too young to be mayor? Shouldn't you run for a lower position first? How are you going to walk into that room and earn the respect of all those men? You're going to knock on their door and you're going to ask for their vote, and they're going to be really nice to you to your face. But then you're going to leave and they're going to say, she's nice, but she's a Muslim. Where are you going to get the money? He's going to blow you out of the water. You need more education. These were some of the remarks that I heard from some of the most powerful members of my community when I was trying to decide whether 29-year-old me had her mind in the right place to even believe that she could run to be the mayor of her city. An immigrant, a refugee from Afghanistan, just had my undergraduate degree. Which woman in my lineage had ever dared to dream of claiming her space like that? So I talked to 150 people, and I asked them, am I crazy for wanting to do this? And over 90% said, do it. Over 90% said, we've got your back. Over 90% said, we believe in you, you'll be good for our community. Over 90% said, we're behind you every step of the way, we'll raise money for you, we'll get volunteers for you. But it was the voice of that 10% that echoed in my head. And all those insecurities that I already had as a girl, they helped amplify and elevate. And had I been raised by a mother and a grandfather who made sure that my sisters and I believed that we could do anything, that the sky was truly the limit, if it hadn't been for them, I probably wouldn't have run. If it hadn't been for a conversation that I had with a friend when I changed my mind about running, because I actually listened to those negative voices. She looked at me, a Muslim woman from Jordan, studying at Trent University in Peterborough, Ontario, where I'm from. I told her, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. I changed my mind. And she looked at me and she said, you mean to tell me that there are people willing to help you and to support you, and you're going to say no? Think of the girls back home who would give anything for an opportunity like this. And that was a game changer for me, because I'm in a room like this with incredible leaders like you, because regardless of what hardships life has thrown my way, regardless of the hardships life has thrown our ways, we're in this room because we have privilege. And with that privilege comes responsibility to look out for and to speak up for those who have yet to be able to find their place. And I ran, and I'm glad I ran. I lost by 1% of the vote. And then Justin Trudeau came along, and I decided, okay, I'm going to set my sights higher, and I'm going to run to be the Member of Parliament for Peterborough. And I'm really glad I did, because I won, and I'm the first woman that my community has sent to our capital. the first person of Afghan descent to make it to the Parliament of Canada. I'm the first. And I'm the first Muslim around the cabinet table of Canada. What gives me hope and strength is that in everything that I'm trying to do, that my Prime Minister is trying to do, that our government's trying to do, we are not alone, because there is rooms filled with people like you who are dreaming big and who believe in a future not so far away when gender equality is a reality. That gives me hope, and that's what I'm going to take back to my country, where we still have struggles with gender-based violence, where we still have struggles with gaps in how women and men are paid, where we still have only 27% of our parliaments made up of women. I'm going to take back this moment. But take a look around you right now too, and there's some new folks joining us. Take a look around. In this room are future prime ministers, future presidents, as it was mentioned, Secretary Generals of the UN. In this room are astronauts. Where's Fatiha, a young girl who's been joining us since breakfast? She's going to be an astronaut. In this room are people who are going to make the world a better place. There she is, right there. Stand up. Stand up. She is standing up. Be kind to one another, because you never know when you're going to need one of the leaders in this room. But also be kind, because the road that we have chosen to travel is not an easy one. We're trying to change the status quo, and there's always going to be people who are going to push back against every step you try to take forward. And the people in this room, and people like the people in this room, are your allies. So be kind. And to the NGOs in the room, to the leaders in this room, please, I beg of you, dream big. We live in really interesting times, and we live at a time when we're celebrating the impact and the power of a girl. And if we don't dream big now and think outside the box now, then when? I'm so looking forward to hearing and learning from all of you here today and on an ongoing basis. And I thank you for having the courage to share your stories and your talents with us. Merci, tashakor, miigwech.
Thank you so much for all of your words. So welcome again, everybody. So the UN has declared this year's theme to be Justice for Girls. And today we're going to talk about the issues that...
Hey, Emily, you know, I was just thinking, would it be better to hear from girls in crisis rather than just talk about them?
Well, where would we even find them? How would we get their stories here at the UN on such a short notice?
Can I hear girls in crisis?
Are y'all thinking what I'm thinking?
Yes, let's run the Girls in Crisis hotline here.
Wait, y'all. This is the United Nations. Girls can come here and speak for themselves.
But wait, do they even have phones here?
I can totally hack the system.
Let's have a look.
Woo! Hey, Chris!
Does the UN even care about girls?
Can we even pull this off?
Okay, we're in.
Girls Crisis Hotline going live
At the United Nations!
in 3, 2, 1.
I am a girl.
J'ai besoin d'aide, s'il vous plaît.
Ego sum quella et auxilium.
So many people have already responded.
So many stories.
Now, girls, before we get started, remind me, what are the 3 most important things to remember when dealing with a girl in crisis?
To listen with full attention.
To take notes accurately. To ask how they are feeling.
But most importantly,
We love you.
We believe you, and you are not alone.
Are we missing anything else?
Do you have any other ideas? I think girls are amazing. This one is from Nigeria. Just when you thought you had won, I rise against all odds and shine. You see, what you really didn't know was I was deeply hurt. As you let people who I thought were my friends bully me. As you made my school and life a living hell. Each time the school bell rang, I would cry internally and ask myself, what pain am I gonna go through today? Locked in the walls of my imagination, I get depressed. Just when you thought you had won, I broke out the shell you kept me in. I feared that I wouldn't be able to survive, but guess what? I found myself a voice to use without a muse. Little did you know you were building a better me, a better, stronger, and powerful me that was going to change the lives of those. I created a platform for students to express themselves, to be the best that they can be. Just when you thought you had won, I stood up to you and I conquered. I was the sponge you chose to squeeze so tightly, yet I always went back to my original shape. One thing I would love for you to know is, blowing up someone's candle won't make yours brighter. I am Eve, 16 years of age, and I am choice. Because it takes a choice to be the change that I wish to see.
Hey, there's a call from Brazil.
Oh, Laura, don't you have a girl activist that can help us out with this one?
Rafaela is 17 years old and lives in Rio de Janeiro. She studies in public school and is passionate about handball. It takes her 1.5 hours to leave her house at a very socially disadvantaged area in Rio de Janeiro and reach the Olympic Villa of Mato Alto, in another poor area of the city, where she trains 4 times a week. Her biggest dream is to become a professional handball player. When she finishes high school, Rafaela wants to go to university to study physical education. She is Catholic and coordinates the youth group of her church. Besides playing handball, through the One Win Leads to Another program, Rafaela has been discovering more about herself, her dreams, and how to challenge gender stereotypes. I'd also like to mention that Rafaela will be speaking Portuguese, and you can listen to translations with your headsets. Rafaela?
Olá, meu sonho é me tornar uma atleta profissional de futebol. Em busca desse sonho, eu deparei com uma grande desigualdade entre homens e mulheres, e eu sei que isso destrói o sonho de muitos meninos. Ser uma adolescente no Rio de Janeiro e no mundo é realmente muito difícil, um lugar perigoso para meninas. Se você luta certos jogos, por exemplo, você pode ser ofendida ou até mesmo atacada na rua. As meninas não podem andar livres. Eu consegui encontrar um curso de inglês gratuito, porém à noite, e é uma caminhada de 15 minutos da minha casa. Mas não é seguro. Minha estratégia é ir de skate para que eu vá mais rápido e não haja tempo para alguém se aproximar de mim. As meninas são preciosas e são o futuro. E as pessoas devem saber que realmente somos importantes para o desenvolvimento do mundo e precisamos de respeito. Estou ansiosa para terminar o ensino médio e entrar na universidade para ser mais independente, trabalhar e ter o meu próprio dinheiro. Meu sonho é estar na seleção brasileira de handebol e ser uma atleta profissional. Mas se isso não acontecer, vou trabalhar na educação física, ajudando crianças que tenham alguma deficiência. O esporte é a minha paixão desde que nasci. Adoro jogar. Estive na natação, jazz e capoeira, mas o handebol é tudo pra mim. Eu descobri isso na escola quando estava na 7ª série. E aos 14 anos, pedi para minha mãe ajudar a encontrar algum lugar para treinar. De início, conseguimos um lugar que era apenas para meninos. Joguei 1 ano com eles assim mesmo. Então, o treinador me indicou uma equipe de meninas em outra Vila Olímpica. Eu levo pelo menos 1 hora e 20 minutos para chegar na Vila Olímpica, mas geralmente é muito mais. E como se não bastasse a dificuldade financeira e os constantes tiroteios próximo à vila, ainda sou obrigada a conviver com assédios como se eu fosse um objeto, mas não desisti do meu sonho. Foi em uma das vilas que eu conheci o programa Uma Vitória Leva Outra. que me encorajou ainda mais a persistir no meu sonho. Este ano eu participei das oficinas de liderança e contação de histórias. E ainda pude ajudar outros meninos como facilitadora assistente das oficinas. Esse projeto me ajudou a ter certeza de que mulher não é frágil e não é objeto, pode conseguir aquilo que quiser se lutar. Gostaria de viver num mundo onde nos vissem e tratassem como realmente somos e não como objetos que podem ser usados como querem. Sonho com um mundo com direitos iguais, onde as pessoas não são diminuídas por serem homem ou mulher, preto ou branco, hétero ou homossexual. Um mundo onde nossos sonhos não são destruídos simplesmente por serem mulheres. Relaxa, acalma a alma, sorria, siga e não desista. Olhe, não estamos sozinhas, temos umas às outras. Querem nos ouvir, transmitir a paz, o amor e boas vibrações. Querem salvar o sentido da humanidade, que é bonito. Ainda há esperança, não será o caos e a guerra destruirá o amor. Obrigada.
Resilient and courageous in the face of all challenges.
I am a Zambian girl child, proud of my motherland.
Proud to be a girl child.
I'm grateful to God for all I have.
Most of all grateful for a loving family.
I am able to go to school. There are many girls around the world that have no family.
No food to eat, no shelter to sleep.
No decent clothes to wear.
No hope that they will ever see the inside of a classroom.
Forced into early marriages and birth at tender ages.
Girl child, we are the flowers of the world.
The world will be just a better place if we can just put our heads together.
Unite for one common goal.
Zambia, my country, recognizes the importance of providing support to the girl child.
Empower her with the tools that will create a better tomorrow.
A better future. I'm working out.
Nike check chasing another like finish to-do list. Cosmopolitan insists that I should run or have the men run away.
I'm working out. How jogging outside is asking for cat calls and callous palms, and somehow enveloped in walls surrounded by empty machines. Men who sweat before stretches whistle in my direction, climb on the treadmill next to mine. And I'm working out.
Only out of breath when he is all that I'm breathing in. When he leans in close and wants to know how I got so pretty. And I'm working out.
Smooth pickup lines eroded with tacit understandings. Every lane is his lane, certainly not my place. I'm the guest, the affirmative action case meant to teach him how to treat me. But he leaves knowing how to vacation on a foreign body, how to shoplift souvenirs from my gift shop. And I'm working out.
How this moment is more than uncomfortable. It is metaphor. It is running as fast as I can. A campaign, somehow still adjacent to his saunter, still finding weights on women that sink any chance of
Leave me alone.
Jumping off bottom lips and spilling in front of us like liquid borders he isn't taught to acknowledge. And I am still working out. How to ignore the baritone over my shoulder, the wet willing ears with
Women aren't meant to run. Away. So much violence, and in the next call too, I wish we had some context here.
Daisha, do you think you could help us out?
In this very moment, our world is struck by the highest levels of displacement ever recorded. By the end of 2016, 65.6 million people around the globe were stripped from their homes. Today, 50% of the world's refugees are women and girls. Without a home, without a state, without a sense of identity. And why? Oppressive governments, war, famine, urbanization, natural disasters, exposure to exploitation, trauma, and abuse in conflict settings makes girls extremely vulnerable, and the aftermath should only be unthinkable. It should not be a reality for thousands of girls today. When turmoil arrives, girls' risks are heightened as fathers and mothers leave home to fight. They are left in dirt of violence. Their bodies become battlegrounds. Soldiers use rape, kidnapping, and sexual servitude as weapons of war, and casualties are the girls' minds, bodies, and souls. Even in times of war, girls remain lesser than. As girls must flee away from their own country to another, they still cannot escape the violence. Girls fight for their lives as they cope with constant fear and anxiety of being discovered, robbed, physically assaulted, watching their loved ones disappear and die, or being taken advantage of by police and armed forces. And the places girls settle. Girls cannot consider refugee camps or other places as safe havens. They're often too overcrowded, unsanitary, lack proper health care and food, and there is no protection against abuse. Of 90 women in the Iztapa Migrants Detention Center, 23 women reported experiencing violence, some even sexual violence. Of these 13 stated their abuser was a state official. And despite abuse like this, girls must suffer in silence and take care of their families. They must collect water and fuel, prepare food, and attend to the health and safety of family members. But who takes care of the girls? Who is fully investigating risks to girls and women in areas of crisis? The weight of these problems should not only bear on the shoulders of displaced girls, but us, the international community. We must strive to acquire accurate and fully reported data to understand the true scale of these problems. Migration routes must be legal and safe. Effective asylum and educational protection is essential. Sexual and reproductive health services must be accessible so girls are not left to die after their bodies are violated. Each nation must eliminate gender discriminatory nationality laws. Expand girls' access to safe, economic, legal, and livelihood opportunities so they have the power to protect themselves and their families. But most importantly, commit to protecting all displaced girls from gender-based violence as they move from location to destination. Girls' rights are human rights, even in times of distress and terror. Rights do not diminish. We must recognize them. We will make certain these girls will see their futures because they are our futures too. Thank you. I would now like to introduce you all to the permanent representative of Turkey to the UN and the 44th Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey, Ferdun Sinebeoğlu.
Dear girls, Minister Mansur, distinguished guests, it gives me great pleasure to join you today. Together with our partners from Canada and Peru, we are proudly marking the 5th anniversary of the International Day of the Girl Child. Happy Girls' Day to you all. You girls, once again, transformed this concept into a beautiful platform where your voices resonate strongly. Colleagues will agree with me that the Girls Speak Out continues to be a very important event that enables the participation of the girls as the real stakeholders. Dear Leisha, I listened carefully to your words on girls in crisis, migration, violence, and displacement. You are absolutely right when you say girls' rights are human rights, even in times of distress and terror. Sadly, in the past few years, we have witnessed growing numbers of children on the move out of fear, alone or with their families, within and across countries. In 2016, children constituted more than half of the total refugee population, and women and girls are among the most vulnerable. Turkey is particularly affected by the large movements of refugee and migrants. We have been working intensively towards strengthening the rights of the children, including girls who are displaced due to the crisis. Particularly, for the 3.1 million Syrians, 300,000 Iraqis and Afghans whom Turkey is hosting, We have mobilized all our resources to provide proper and dignified living conditions. This includes free healthcare, psychosocial support, and other protection measures. We believe that preserving the family environment and decent conditions are much needed when children are forced to leave their countries. More importantly, we made education of displaced children a top priority. There are 835,000 school-age Syrian children in Turkey, and half of them are girls. The schooling ratio has increased twofold and reached to 60% in 2017, but that's not enough. We know our campaigns cannot and will not stop that. But most countries and communities are working require more resources for the education of displaced girls and boys. The education of girls is crucial and is a shared responsibility if we want the next generation to be able to rebuild their future and countries. Dear girls dream of a world of peace and non-violence, a world in which they can grow up safe and empowered. And the 2030 agenda can realize this vision. Girls should be informed about their rights and legal safeguards at all stages, have access to child-friendly information and counseling. Girls should be genuinely consulted about decisions affecting them, including when seeking redress for instances of violence. Dear girls, thank you once again for your vision. We should work hard to make it a guide for all of us. As always, marking this day with your participation at the UN is making us very, very proud. Thank you all.
A story of two sisters who experienced civil war in Kachin State, Mary and Nunuzan.
They were born in the Nan village. Mary is 15, Nunuzan is 13.
Their father is Burmese Buddhist and their mother Kachin Catholic. Because of the different races and religions, they weren't able to marry. However, they managed to get married in 2011.
At their young ages, Mary and Nunuzan experienced civil war in Hangzar, their hometown. The Kachin armed group and Myanmar government continue fighting till this day.
One Sunday morning, while they were attending Mass, there was a shooting from both sides of the church. Together with other families, they ran in a big ditch behind the church. Then the government yelled, "Here are KIA's family members! Let us kill them!" Some of the men were hit, and they were about to gun them all down. They cried loudly and were terrified.
Fortunately, Mary and Nunuzan were able to escape. But this traumatic experience never disappeared from their memory.
A letter to her abuser. How would you start a letter like this?
You are the opposite of dear, and to whom may concerns seems too formal.
You don't deserve formality. You might be wondering what this is about.
I doubt you remember. It's funny how that works.
Because of you, she's terrified of crowds. But I bet you don't even remember.
I have so many questions, but the biggest is why? Why did you do it?
Did you know she was only 13?
She wasn't exactly a child anymore, but you took her innocence.
And what made you do it?
Don't say it was the way she dressed.
She wore a long dress and sweater to prevent exactly this. But even if she was wearing a mini dress,
even if she wore a bikini,
even if she was stark naked,
that wouldn't be an excuse for what you did.
It wasn't her fault. Did you think about where you were?
Did you forget?
Did you just not care?
How ironic that you would exploit an adolescent in a place of holy worship.
I'm writing because I want you to know that you're the reason for her social anxiety.
Because of you, she hasn't told anyone for 2 years.
However, you're the one that I pity.
Because she's stronger than you'll ever be.
I hope you regret it.
Sincerely, someone who loves her.